Welcome to the Rachel Ferrell Show, where we talk about real estate, real marketing, and real life. I'm your host, Rachel Ferrell. Hello, welcome to week 3 of the Rachel Ferrell Show. Trent, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing great.
I'm
It's
so
been a
salmony.
minute.
I
You
can't
are
I can't get over the salmoniness
so
of
salmony.
I need to steer clear of bears today.
Steer clear of bears.
We're working on that joke all day.
Okay.
That's funny, right?
That was pretty funny. That just reminded me of two things. So 2 pathways we're going to go on that were unintentional. The first one was Homeward Bound. Do you remember Homeward Bound?
Of course.
Okay. And
Classic.
the bear that's like in the, was it a bear? It was with Sassy as they were like trying to get the upstream salmon.
Yeah.
It was an intense moment.
Very intense moment.
Yeah.
Homeward Bound shaped me as a child.
Okay. I watched that with my kids because, you know, I wanted to feel things. You know, I was like, this is quintessential childhood movie. You have to watch this. I mean, I can't hardly think about Chance coming up over the hill without just.
I was not good.
I still am not good.
I'm still recovering.
I have not recovered from that moment.
Chance was not okay.
Nope.
I don't think I would. No, it's Shadow. Come on.
No. Oh, it was Shadow.
Yeah.
Yes. Chance is the boxer.
Yeah.
Regardless,
the dog
coming over the hill,
Legendary.
limping with his old age.
Yeah.
And everybody cries because that's just what you're supposed to do. So that was the only emotional part of the movie that I remember because it was so hard hitting. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, the entire movie is that way though.
Yeah, it's pretty, yeah, you're not wrong.
No,
you're not wrong.
I had totally forgot about the little girl that got lost in the woods, Molly.
Oh, yeah. And the porcupine? What about the porcupine?
The porcupine. I'm literally about to tear up thinking about that girl in the woods and the dogs were like with her. That was a big deal.
Yeah.
I was on TikTok the other day and there was a story recently, and I can't remember where she was. I'd sent it to Nick, where a Springer Spaniel, which is the kind of dog that we have, and another dog followed the 4-year-old out the door. Like she left the house and the dogs went with her.
Smart.
And 4 hours later, she was found in a random area. I don't know, an ATV found her. But the dogs were there, like
just
keeping her warm. Like, let's make sure she's okay.
We don't
dogs
deserve
are crazy.
Dogs.
We don't deserve dogs.
They're so good.
Anyway, we're getting another one, and I'm very excited about it.
Nice.
Yep, same thing.
Springer Spaniel. Blanking on your dog's name.
Ella J.
Ella J. She's great.
She is great.
Big fan of Ella J.
I am also, and I'm afraid that it's going to turn out like first child, second child. You know, which I very much love my second child. Do not get me wrong. First one is so well behaved.
Yeah.
Second one is a little bit of a wild card.
Hey. Gotta keep it fresh.
The rules apply to dog ownership?
Only time will tell.
Is the birth order effective?
I don't know. Usually, I don't know. Second dogs, I don't know. I feel like they kind of fall in a lot of times and know like OG's here.
Yeah.
Like this is OG. Like I should, got to pay homage to OG.
Queen Ella J.
And then,
whatever we name the second dog.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I still have nothing. I don't know what I'm going to name her.
Yeah.
We named Ella J after our favorite place in Georgia.
That's
like
cool.
I remember going there and thinking, this would make a nice dog name.
Ella J.
And then we got a dog. And we'll call her Ella. We'll call her Jay. We call her Wigglebutt. I mean,
Wigglebutt. She does have a wiggly butt.
She does. And it's so cute.
I love that.
So I have to think about what we're going to do for the next one. We need to find another place that we really like that, sounds like a cute dog
Daniels.
Jack Daniels. Jackie. Name her Jackie. I wanted Dolly. I thought about Dolly, but Dolly is like
it's kind of played out.
It is. Yeah. And I have a friend who has like a Labradoodle.
Yeah.
Dolly fits a Labradoodle.
Sure.
Dolly does not fit an English Springer Spaniel.
Okay.
I've tried.
Okay.
To anyway.
Is it a girl dog?
It is a girl dog.
Always girl dogs. Kind of a big.
Always
pretty loyal to girl dogs.
Yeah,
I've always had girl dogs. Well, they'll be friends. We can get Cammy Ruski with her.
Cammy Ruski.
Yeah, she's a good dog too.
I love that. They would probably have a blast in the backyard. Does Cammy Ruski like chickens?
She would be so funny. She's like, "What is this?"
Uh-huh.
She'd probably be scared, honestly.
Yeah.
She's scared of everything,
My
so,
chickens are really scary. I mean, they really are.
like, they'll
Little.
she's fast, so
They're scary.
she's agile. Her defense mechanisms are being cute and being fast.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Being cute is a dagger.
Yeah.
Like, it really is. Some people, they're just born with it.
Yeah.
Logan, second child, truly is.
Can just get away with stuff because he's
It's
cute.
because he's got chunky cheeks.
Hey, chunky cheeks will get him.
They will, they
Yep.
will. Anyway, you look really nice in salmon today.
Dang, I'm so salmony. The salmon is popping. It's really
I
popping on camera right now,
love
so
it. It
if
really
y'all need to
is.
get your sunglasses on, it's fine. Like, just take your time.
Speaking of sunglasses, I was telling Trent whenever I came into the studio last time I have this, I wear the same makeup all the time.
Mhm.
All the time. And whenever I come into the studio, I shine bright like a
Shine.
diamond.
That's a good yeah, you just
No,
shine it. That's
no,
a
no. That was not a good thing. I
Tom will get
watched
on you.
over it and I was like, no, powder next time. Here we
Okay.
are. Okay, so moving on. Trent,
Yes. You
big
got
news in the
news.
Ferrell
I
house.
know. I'm excited.
I am thrilled to tell you that we have pulled JD out of public school and we are now homeschooling.
Wow.
I know.
How is that?
Crazy.
Yeah.
So we'd always wanted to do it.
Okay.
Like when I was pregnant with JD, I sat down with Renee Sproles of Just Ask Your Mom
Oh, yeah, yeah,
podcast.
yeah. That
She
was
was
early,
interviewed with
early pod.
me in season 1. Like if you
Yep.
ever want to go back and listen to Just Ask Your Mom, or if you want to go listen to Just Ask Your Mom, you totally should.
Absolutely.
But I sat down with her with Nick at what's that restaurant? It was the Chinese restaurant over across from the hospital.
Huddle House.
It's where all good business happens. I can't remember what that restaurant was. It was so good.
Oh, man.
I loved it.
So y'all were sitting there.
Oh, yeah, sorry, moving
Okay.
on. That restaurant doesn't really matter. Yeah, we were sitting there, we were talking about it, and I remember asking her all the questions because, like, homeschooling was not something that we did. I had friends in college that were homeschooled, but not friends in high school or middle school or elementary school that I take that back. There were a couple
There's a
people at
couple, yeah.
church
Yeah, yeah.
that were, and of course, I had a lot of questions. And that had always been the plan. We were gonna homeschool. And then we moved to Tullahoma. I got into real estate and we were like, "You know what? Let's just send him to school." And I love the Tullahoma City schools.
Sure.
Like, fantastic school system. Um, we just love to travel. Like,
Right.
we love to go. And we went to, Gatlinburg that last time. Did we talk about the caves?
Don't think we've talked about the caves yet.
Okay, so we'll go to a place called Little Arrow in Townsend, and we had finally found the Tuckaleechee Caverns. Went down into this cave, and JD spent like 2 hours
Yeah.
absorbed.
I saw the socials recapping.
He
It
was
looked
so
really cool.
it was fantastic.
He's quite the adventurer.
He is.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the lights, he would get underneath with the flashlight, Nick would get out the other side, they would shine the flashlights at each other,
Whoa, that's
they'd
pretty
do
cool.
it was so cool.
That
They
is
turned the
cool.
lights off and, you got the gift of darkness, which
Whoa, pause. I don't like that.
I didn't either, and
I'm low-key
Logan
scared of the dark.
didn't
Is that
at all.
fair?
It's totally fair.
Okay.
You're allowed to still be scared of the dark
Yeah,
in your old age.
that's fair. You know what's weird?
What?
Sorry. Have you ever, like, really not liked closing your eyes for an extended period of time? Even, like, just washing like, you would wash your hair, probably close your eyes.
Uh-huh.
I don't like doing that. Even, like, washing my face, I'm like
Don't
anyway,
close your eyes for too long.
I'm a weirdo.
We're gonna have to find a therapist for that.
There's
There's something there.
yeah. I don't know what that is.
Do you sleep at night?
I do.
That's a
Sleeping's fine.
solid 8 hours.
I'm just like, when I'm awake and I'm not trying to be asleep, I
Trent
like
is
to have my
literally
eyes
like
open.
one eye open
Yeah,
while he's
always.
sleeping.
Yeah.
That's
That's
hilarious.
such a weird thing, but it's
It's
definitely a
not.
thing.
I mean, it's a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, you should go to the bottom of a cave and they should turn the lights off for you.
Okay.
It ruined the experience for Logan. Like,
He was not good
he
with that.
was not good after
And he was the adventurer.
the lights went off. Nope.
Oh,
No, he's the
JD's
second born.
JD's how do I keep doing that?
I don't
JD's the
know.
adventurer.
I do it all the time too.
All
He
right.
is. JD is the adventurer. So after that happened, we were like, man, this was a lot of fun. And we had the trip planned for Williamsburg for Thanksgiving already. And like,
I've done
that's a
that
whole unit
before.
study in something, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway,
We did
we
that
just
for
decided
a
it was
field
time.
trip. It was boring. Sorry.
It was boring.
I mean, but we were kids and like they're making butter, cool,
That's
but
exactly what I'm saying, Trent,
I'm sorry.
is that while they're kids, I'm gonna take them to these fun experiences where they can watch people make
Just a little
butter.
heads up, it might not be as fun as you think.
Heads
Okay.
up, he might hate it.
There's a
Maybe he
chance.
does, and then he can go back to public school.
That's hilarious.
We've done
So
this is week
homeschooling,
2. Yes, we're in week
you're
2.
doing it?
Uh-huh.
Didn't mean to sound questioning. That was not
I made a 21 on my ACT, Trent.
That's really good.
Maybe. I had babysat the night before too. Like, I was exhausted.
Mine was definitely in the teens.
Definitely in
Yeah,
the teens. I
yeah.
think we cut the podcast where I talked about my traumatic experiences with my history teacher in high school.
I think we did
That
cut
was
that.
probably a good thing. We're not gonna do
Yeah,
that.
let's not revisit that.
But
Trauma's a real thing.
trauma was a real I think I was on the verge of tears, like, not in a good way. But with this, if he's gonna be traumatized, it's gonna be by me.
Hey,
So, you know,
way to be great.
that's gonna be it. It's been a lot of fun. There's been, like, really nobody has said, "This is a bad idea." Which
That's
has been
awesome.
awesome. So I sat down with somebody who already had been homeschooling for several years. She's got a 5th grader and a 3rd grader and a kindergartner, and she gave me all the curriculum I could possibly need for this year. And I called the girl that I sat down at. You want to say PF Chang's? That wasn't what it is. That's going to kill me. I will find out
Panda
after this what it
Express.
is. It wasn't Panda Express. Um.
Sorry.
Anyway, I called Renee and talked to her about it a little bit too. Can we start over?
No. The whole thing? We're 11 minutes in. I feel like we're vibing. Talking to Homeward Bound and
The homeward bound part was good. The homeschool part started derailing.
I don't think so.
No? Okay,
Well,
well,
we
you're
can
gonna have to
cut
cut
some
that
of this,
part.
yeah. And we're back.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
So we called Renee. I called Renee the other day, and she gave me some great advice just about this year being really chill. I have to figure out how to, like, we have a mother-son relationship, but what does the mother, like, teacher-student relationship look like inside of our house? And Nick's actually really hands-on with it too. He's doing
Nice.
it today while I'm doing stuff here, and then whenever he goes to work, then
That's
I
cool.
pick up. Usually I'll do, like, the planning piece of it, and he follows whatever it is that I suggest. But earlier I was watching him and it was super funny because they were talking about, it's a little bit of a review on all the different shapes. And I don't know, Nick was acting a fool, but JD was loving it and he
That's so
remembered
funny.
everything that he said. I was like, I feel like
It's gonna work.
this is gonna work. It's gonna be good. I had
Good.
been concerned about Logan whenever he comes into school just because he's so high energy. Is he gonna be able to sit in a classroom as long as he's gonna be required to sit in a classroom? And I just remember being that kid. And
Sure.
so I'm excited for the opportunity to let him be that kid and also still learn.
That's
We've
cool.
read a ton. That's pretty much everything I keep hearing. Like, just read, 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 read. And so we've been reading a lot of books.
Cool.
And I think it's been really helpful. So yeah, that's it. That's what's happening in our world.
That's quite an update.
It is.
And I mean, it sounds awesome.
I think
You're
so.
liking it and people are happy and
I think the first week was just a God thing.
yeah,
Like, it was so good that I think it was God's way of saying, like, hey, this is a good thing for you. And also, when you're really frustrated in 4 months, just remember this feeling
sure.
because I imagine that the time will come. But what's cool about it is that the 180 days, I can fit them in however I want to.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
It is from June all the way to, June. I
And you
have
probably
to submit to the state twice through our umbrella school, and then I have to give them my curriculum. But like, we don't have to do any standardized testing
nice.
at
That's
all.
huge.
Yes.
Those things are a joke anywhere.
I kind of feel that way too.
What about
They're good for some people.
sure. Yeah.
Maybe not for me.
Yeah, 100%. But and he's probably got all the other, outlets for social stuff and all that, right?
Yes. Well, and that's the thing that people are always
Yeah,
like,
that would be my one
mhm.
question, but
And that
let's
was
ask for the listener because I'm
yeah.
sure they're probably wondering.
What is that? Absolutely. So whenever I sat down with Renee back when I was pregnant with JD, I asked the question, you know, sometimes whenever you think of homeschoolers, there's a little bit of a connotation. And she was like, weird parents have weird kids, whether they're in public school or private school.
Facts.
I was rolling, like
That's
totally
fun. That's
rolling.
really funny.
Because it's just kind of the case, I think. I'm absolutely an extrovert. Nick is absolutely an introvert. And I put my kids in social settings all the time, regardless of whether they're in public school or not. So
Right.
they've got soccer on Fridays and Saturdays with different teammates. There are so many different things within the community. We're really in a pretty homeschool heavy
Is that
population
yeah. And they
anyway.
did, like, the virtual academy stuff, and, I
Yes.
remember that podcast, and it seems like that's more of a trend now since COVID anyway, and,
Yes.
feels like COVID kinda fast forwarded some of that,
I think so. I think
which is
just
kinda sad, but kinda cool, but
giving you the freedom to
and public
teach your
schools
kids
are
the way
weird,
that they
man.
need to be
Yeah,
teached
I've
taught.
teached.
I'm a teacher.
Nailing the grammar straight out the gate.
I'm gonna let him listen to that and say, "Find the error.
Yeah, right? Where did mommy mess up?
Where did you mess up?"
That's so good.
Anyway, keep going. What were you saying?
That was it, just I think COVID just really, made that more of a thing,
It totally flipped the
yeah,
script, especially in
'cause
Tennessee, where you've got these, the 3rd grade retention piece of it, the pressure on getting kids to be reading at 3rd and 4th grade levels when the majority of kids weren't doing it anyway.
yeah.
Uh, I think it's just a lot of pressure on our kids, and that's where the reading piece comes in, where, sorry, you're standing up, and
Oh,
so now I'm, like,
no, you're
totally distracted. Where reading every day is important. You should be reading your kids every day anyway, but when you're doing homework for 30 to 45 minutes a night anyway, I just thought, "Okay, well, we'll just add on the rest of school and then be done by lunch, be done by 1, and then they can just
boys.
go and be boys." Yeah, they get to
That's
go
cool.
and just do their own thing. Um, the classroom setting is definitely has its place for a lot of people,
Sure.
and I recognize that not everybody has the ability just to, like, snatch their kids out of school and be like, "Alright, we're going homeschool now," so I feel hugely blessed, from that front. I do and have always felt like it was the best for our family,
That's awesome.
so I'm
Pulling for you.
excited to charge forward
So is
with it.
he kindergarten or 1st grade or
2nd.
2nd? Wow.
So he went to school in kindergarten and
Yeah.
1st grade,
Yeah.
and he didn't not like it, like,
Right.
he
Great
did great.
experience. Yeah.
Yes, and there were some times where, like, there are kids that just need to be put my brother was one of them. He was pushed in all areas because he's a smart guy.
Sure. Sure.
And I feel like he got bored in a lot of places too, which led to some different procrastination, some different things like that, learning some different habits that way. And with this, I mean, if he flies through math and we wanna go ahead and start 3rd grade math, we can put him into 3rd grade math. Like, we can push him as fast and as hard as we want to, or we can take it as slow as he needs to
Yeah.
make sure that he is comprehending. Because, like, do you remember being in
Yeah.
math and, like, if you miss a day or you are out for a week because you're sick and you come back and, like, it's either you have to self-teach at home
Yep.
so that you can catch up on the concepts, or it's like you're constantly missing forever and ever. Like,
Yeah.
you go into algebra, you go into geometry, and all of a sudden
Dude,
you're like,
geometry
"Man,
kicked my butt.
this is because I'm missing some pieces." But that's
Yep.
gonna we're gonna have the opportunity to say, "Okay, great. Like, let's pause where you're struggling. Let's go back to the foundational piece of it. We're gonna cover these topics again, and then we're gonna come back and try again." Um, and that way we're actually learning for legit comprehension, not just memorizing for a test.
Sure.
So, it's
That's good.
interesting.
The adventures of homeschooling.
The adventures of homeschooling. I
That's good.
probably won't talk about it a whole lot just because I'm not an expert in it,
Yeah, sure. It's
but
gonna be
I
quite
will
the
share
learning
when
curve.
we have funnies.
Funnies for
That
days.
is an important thing to talk about.
Awesome. What else has been going on?
Not too much. I mean, really, as the weeks go on, we're coming into October. There's a lot of really fun stuff happening. This weekend's the 41A Music Fest in
Nice.
Tullahoma. So there's a lot of great bands that are coming out. It's a lot of family fun. I'm sure I'll talk about it later on. We have a golf tournament that you and I are
Yeah.
participating in Tullahoma, the
Nice.
Golf Chamber Classic. I can't remember what style it is.
Scramble.
It's a scramble.
Yep.
So tell the audience what a scramble is, Trent.
Because you're definitely super up to speed on that, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's usually a four-player scramble, and you basically get 4 chances every shot, and you take the best shot every time until the ball's in the hole, and yeah, it's basically a team game, and everybody gets a shot, and you pick the best shot all the way in.
Great.
Yep. So,
So mine will be the worst shot every
hey,
time.
but a big kind of sleeper thing with having ladies hitting from the red tees can be a very big advantage because they're usually quite a bit in front of where we hit from. So even if you hit like even a decent shot, you can have like you can be in really good position.
I love a good advantage.
Yes, you will definitely honestly, some of the best scramble teams I've ever had or been a part of have had ladies on them
Now,
because of
the
those
real
advantages.
question is, were those ladies golfers prior to the
Some
event?
of them, some of them were. We
Okay.
might need a range session or 2, and I'd be happy to we need to probably schedule that.
That sounds like a plan considering the last time I hit a golf
Ball.
ball.
That is what they're called, yep.
I almost said golf club. I was like,
Last time I hit a golf club.
backtrack. The
Hey,
last
same
time I
thing.
hit a golf ball was in 6th grade,
Okay.
just a
Hey,
mere 4 years ago.
yeah, I wasn't gonna ask how many it was, but
Too many.
four's pretty close.
Too many. Yep,
Yeah,
so I'm
that's gonna be
super excited
fun.
about that. It's gonna be great. Granddaddy's Farm has opened up, all of the different farms, um, for your pumpkin patch
Nice.
festivities have
All the
opened up
fall
for the
stuff.
fall. Fall is just
Fall is kind of the best.
it is,
I'm big fan of fall. The
definitely.
football and the cooler weather and hoodies and all the things.
Speaking of football,
Are you gonna talk about Taylor Swift?
just for like a half a
I knew
second, what is this?
it. It is quite the publicity stunt.
Oh my gosh. There
Yes.
is nothing that I am looking at online that does not have
I know. It's everywhere.
Kelsey Swift.
It is wild.
It is.
Did you know there's a player on the Eagles where his brother plays with the last name Swift? So it's
Yes.
like Kelsey and Swift. I think
I
that's
saw that where it was like
yeah, that's pretty funny.
I can't remember. I think it was the Eagles that posted that
Yeah.
where they were like,
We're not yeah.
I hear somebody's talking about,
Our players.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is
That's
hilarious.
some great social media.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I had no idea. What I love about it more than anything is that, well, now my feeds are all filled with really wholesome NFL content.
If yeah, something like that.
It's weird. Like, it's not just about the Kelsey brothers, who are adorable, and I thought I could only wish that my children love me as much as
They love their mom.
they
They
love their
they are
mama one
both
day.
big mama's boys for
They
sure.
are
It's
big
pretty
mama's
awesome.
boys.
And she's
Uh,
in the box with the mom. I mean, come on.
it was wild.
Yeah, that is pretty I mean, it's genius.
It
It's all
totally
genius.
is.
It's genius.
No.
You can't help but just applaud the greatness that is.
Yes, it really has taken the world by well,
But
and it's funny too because you have, like, all these memes where it's like, "They've brought America together," but really,
they kinda
it's
have in
like
a
the 2
weird
biggest segments of American fan bases,
Yeah,
like, smack
yeah.
dab right in the middle,
Yeah,
which is
it's pretty wild.
crazy, but I'm on NFL TikTok now, like,
That's
it
so
just is
funny.
wild, all the different players from
Dude, the
all the different
NFL,
teams.
I think it was either the NFL IG or TikTok was
Uh-huh,
like, "Taylor was here."
yep,
Did you that is insane.
I that is
That is insane
insane
that they yeah,
that
that's
she
pretty
has
wild.
that much influence over
Yeah.
and the question really is, was it pre-planned?
Man, I don't know. It's
Marketers these days are
so good.
unhinged,
Yeah,
like,
it's
they are fly by the seat of your pants.
I
I
mean, there was
imagine
definitely, like there's a backstory there. Like, you've heard the backs I'm sure you've kinda taken a dive, or have you?
well, on how they have been
Like,
seeing each other.
yeah, well, I mean, he, like, left a
Oh,
bracelet with
yeah,
his
okay.
phone number, and, like, she kinda swerved him there, and then now it's, like, kinda resurfaced, and
It's a
it's
thing.
yeah. So, there's a little bit of story behind it, which
Yes.
is whatever, but,
But
yeah.
was the public debut supposed to be
Oh, that was super duper staged. It has to be, right?
I don't know.
I mean, I would say it has
I
to be.
feel like with 2 celebrities that are
Yeah,
that status, whether it was staged or not, it was going to be
a massive
massive.
yeah, and it couldn't have been much bigger than that.
And you have millennials and Gen Z that are holding the keys to
Yeah,
all of the marketing platforms. I mean, when they see an opportunity,
yeah.
whether it was planned or not, they gon' jump.
It
It was
was really well
brilliant.
executed. Yep.
Absolutely. Anyway, I say all of that to say I deep dove all of the Titan stuff, which was wild too. Like, they really have some funny stuff on there
Yeah.
as well.
Oh,
Um
there's a lot of great social media on on all things
Uh-huh.
NFL. It's pretty hilarious.
The mic'd up thing was really funny. I feel like millennials are
What
the
about
best.
have you seen the bad lip readings?
Yes.
Those are classic.
So funny,
They're
but
so
again, like,
funny.
not until the past 5 days.
Yeah, right. I was
Like
about to say, when did you actually see those? Because
like,
they
the Kelsey brothers have their own podcast, like, totally listen to it.
went to the number 1, like, overnight.
Did it. Well, it's because everybody was wanting to hear the
Taylor Swift,
story.
yes. That's a
But they're
Taylor
also
effect.
funny, like, it's
Yeah,
not
they are funny.
even, you know
My
unwarranted.
my better half does not like Travis Kelce.
Why? Well, why?
She's very much not a fan.
Huh.
Like, he had the dating show. I don't know if you knew about the dating show back in the
Oh,
day. Like,
barely.
he's I don't know, kinda toolish at times. Sorry.
Very interesting.
Yeah,
But
that's
his
like his
brother doesn't seem that
no,
way.
she
Yeah.
loves his brother, but
We can
not a f
celebrate with Uncle Travie.
yeah, Jason. Jason's the cool one.
Yeah, he is super cool.
Yeah.
Super
Or he just
cool.
seems like a really good dude.
Yeah.
Can't really say that for both, I don't think. I'll say it, sorry. That's for you,
I
girlfriend.
heard it.
Anyway, what else were we talking about?
I guess we should talk about real estate a little bit.
Yeah, what's the Tullahoma market like?
It is exciting, thrilling,
Let's go.
absolutely just
Talk to the people. Let
talk
them
to the
know.
people.
What can they expect? How can they get in on the greatness?
So, the best time to buy a house is in January. And if you're gonna buy a house in January, when should you start looking?
Right now.
Right now, really.
Yes.
I mean, you should be under contract in December, December 1, early December, late November. If you've got government loans pushing into January, you're gonna end up with a little bit better deal. You're gonna end up with a little bit better rate. Historically, I'm making no promises today, though,
Yeah,
because
it's kinda
things are a
risky.
little volatile right now. Um, but even with the volatility in the market, we're seeing inventory increasing. I mean, if you're looking in McMinnville, Manchester, Tullahoma, some of these different tertiary markets, we are seeing supply increasing steadily month over month. There are still buyers on the market, which is great. So, don't be afraid to list your house. But I guess what I'm trying to say is from a buyer's perspective, if you've been waiting for a moment to buy and be picky, like, if you're wanting to be picky, you want this exact right house in this exact right place, go ahead and start giving it a look now because new things are coming on the market every single weekend in every price point. And you've got a lot of opportunity to negotiate and get yourself a really sweet deal. Tertiary markets are still where it's at, though. I mean, in my opinion, if you're going to
Tertiary. That's
buy,
a cool word.
I know, right? I'm
What
going to
does
say it
that
a few
mean
more
exactly?
times.
Like outlier?
Tertiary.
Like,
Yeah, like you've
okay.
got your main markets, you have your
Mhm.
secondary markets, like you've got Nashville and you've got Murfreesboro, which
Tertiary.
really Murfreesboro is sort
Technically
of
tertiary?
turning into a main market now. It's like a secondary market,
Oh,
outskirts of Nashville.
sure.
And we're on the outskirts of
Double
Nashville.
outskirts.
We're like the
Outskirts squared.
petticoats of
I got you.
all right. Sorry, going back to my American Girl roots. We
Kirsten.
are
Well, there's wooden spoons and stuff.
tertiary markets.
Yep.
Those markets are really good to buy in because you're going to get more bang for your buck. We're seeing a lot of appreciation still in those spaces. While inventory is growing, we're like number 3 on Zillow's top 10 or top 30 list of micropolitan markets.
Wow.
Um,
Micropolitan. That's a cool word too.
Listen to us. This is vocabulary.
Hey,
I'm really a good teacher. I'm gonna
so good.
homeschool you, Trent. This is
Probably
it.
needed. I am learning today.
I think, yeah. Ooh. Anyway, so yes, market's great. It's looking good. I think we're coming into a really interesting year with the presidential election as we're coming out of a lot of these different government supports with childcare. I think student loans are coming back into play in December. There's a lot of different things that are affecting people's affordability, people's ability to afford a home, the affordability of housing in general. If you are somebody that has been looking for a home and any of those things apply to you, you've got kids and you're going to be affected by the changes in the child care system. If you're somebody who has a lot of school debt, and you're going to have to start paying again coming in December, and you are looking for a house, then you need to talk to a lender. Like it is time now to go ahead and talk to them about how you can position yourself best to purchase. I mean, what really sucks is that the cost of renting and the cost of home ownership are, I mean, neck and neck at best. Renting is more expensive in a lot of cases than purchasing a home, even with interest rates the way that they are. And interest rates, I don't want to sugarcoat it. Like, they're not fun right now,
Yeah.
especially considering we were in the mid threes, low fours. You take a look at it and it's like, well, I want to wait. I
For what?
There's no waiting.
Yeah, it's not looking
Mm-mm.
super super
It's
positive.
not optimistic. I'm not feeling optimistic that we're gonna come back down to those
Yeah.
really ever, if anytime soon ever.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
That's what every yeah.
well, and the hard part is that everybody wants it to happen overnight. Like, they want it to go from 7 and a quarter down to 4 and a quarter, and if that happens overnight, you have the
Chaos.
economy would not do well. It would be absolutely
Chaos.
chaotic, and chaos is not the solution when you're looking for even keel, peaceful tides, all the
Yeah,
things.
that's what yeah, for sure.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we've done some of the what in like what in the heck happened panels over at Cedar Glade, and it's
Yeah,
like the Grant Hammonds and the Ronnie Martins of the world talking about like exactly what you're saying.
yeah,
So it's just it's and everybody's watching the Fed and listening to every little word that's being said and
mhm,
how people they like took a break now, but got some comments that are saying like it's probably going to stay like this for a while.
yeah.
Like you said, not going down for a while. It's yeah, I mean, it's a lot.
It's
It's
tough.
it is. And I mean, to your point, it's a good time. It's still a good time to buy, long
Yeah.
story short. And
His
while those things do really add up and it is a major difference, you can't go back in time.
You
So,
can't.
um,
If you
and
look at the trends historically, I mean, you really are.
still kind of low, relatively speaking,
It's
which
wild.
is low key terrifying.
Yeah. But it's going
Yay!
to be okay.
Yeah.
I had a conversation yesterday with somebody, I was over at Reinvintage doing some shopping. Got a really cool map for I called it our study space because I'm still not Instagram official that we're homeschooling. Like I said, I'm trying to stay a tad bit low key on that. Um,
Why is that? Just with
well,
the
again, like, I
announcement?
don't wanna act like I'm an expert
Oh,
because I'm
sure.
not. I wanna make sure that
It's gonna work.
at
Or
any point in time that I'm sharing about homeschooling online that A, it's humble, B, it doesn't seem judgmental, and C, I'm actually sharing something that is of value.
sure.
I feel like over time I'll share things like, "This is how we're troubleshooting," but in the very beginning stages, it's just
Yeah.
like I said, I
It's
wanna
quite a learning curve.
it is. Well, and I think I said it earlier, but I wanna make sure that it is definitely well known that the reason we chose to do it is because we had always wanted to do it. We're just redirecting back to a path that we
This
really
was your
liked. It
initial
was our
intention. Okay.
initial intention whenever we
Wow.
had kids was to do this. Okay, I
And
say
neither
that
one of y'all were, right?
nope,
You already said that.
we
Okay.
weren't. No.
That's cool. Interesting.
Um, I had probably the least favorable public school experience out of the two of us, and transparently, I think a lot of it has to do with ADHD
Yeah.
in the 90s. It was just a tough time. And I really even to this day, a huge reason why I'm in real estate is because of the variety. You have consistency in what it is that you're doing. There is routine in the paperwork, the setup, the different things that you're doing from day to day, but there is so much variety in the people that you're with, in the transactions, it's a different puzzle to solve that keeps your attention.
Sure.
It's a different game that you're chasing, what's the next piece going to look like? What's the
Yeah.
next deal going to look like? And it gives my brain that boost of, I guess, serotonin. I don't know. I'm learning a
Pretty
lot
sh-
about it.
pretty sure that's the one.
While also, doing something that's beneficial to myself and to other people. Um, and school did not lend itself to that when I was there. I definitely can remember feeling the struggle of multiple hours of sitting and listening, um,
Yeah.
when I needed to be up and running and playing. And that's the beautiful piece of it is that, like if my kids are feeling fidgety, it's like, here's some Play-Doh. We're still going to read the book, but here's some Play-Doh.
Sure.
And the expectation is still there. He struggled with writing 5 sentences every day at school. That was part of the problem. We are still writing 5 sentences. And that was one of the first things I told him was I am in support of what was happening at school, what your teacher was telling you to do. It's a requirement for you to obey.
Yeah. It's not like you're getting out of this.
No,
Yeah.
we're not getting out of anything.
Sure.
We're changing it up a little bit, but
Yeah.
anyway, I was talking to somebody yesterday, when I bought my map about some of the different things that are coming out. What you're hearing these really high level people talking about, families are still balancing their budgets at the end of the month. The balance sheets are still looking good. Savings is at an all-time low, but People are still able to pay for whatever. And you kind of want to ask, like, who are you talking to?
Yeah.
Because that's not what we're seeing. And a lot of times whenever I sit down, especially with first time home buyers, the question is, do you have a monthly budget? Do you have a yearly budget? Do you have goals for your family for savings, for if the HVAC goes out, if you need a new roof, if you need a new car, are you prepared for those things? Do you know how to plan for that? And a lot of times the answer is no.
Yeah.
And I'm either having to give them resources, pointing them to people who know how to do it, or make a big disclaimer and say, I'm not a financial advisor, but here's how I budget within
Sure.
our house. And a lot of times what we're seeing is, I think traditionally you want to stay under 25% of your monthly income in housing, and it's well exceeding that with interest rates the way that they are, and with prices the way that they are. We're seeing 35-40%, if not more, of people's household incomes going towards housing.
Yeah.
And that's just not it's not great.
No, no, it's not.
But it's definitely something that has to be talked about. You still have to own a home. I mean, you still have to have a place to live. And if renting is gonna take up that much too, then, definitely still think about buying so that you can see the price appreciation. You're not adding to somebody else's equity, you're adding to your own.
Sure.
But all of those things are important things to think about. And that is why having the whole moral of that derailed story is that you need somebody local that you can talk to about these things, because while we're seeing on TikTok and the news and all of these whatever things that there are problems, those problems do not have to be answered for you at that level.
Sure.
We need to get micro and look at yours and determine what it is that the next steps are for your problems, because you see 7.25, you see I want to be a first time home buyer. We're looking at a market where we're not going to see a whole lot of improvement in interest rate or in prices. How do we position you, not the entirety of the United States of America, so that you can budget for your family and your needs in your things? And you're not going to get those answers from anybody but somebody who is local and who has your best interest at heart, which is a good lender, a good CPA, a good real estate agent, um, somebody maybe within your family or your community that you have seen manage money well. I mean, if you want to follow Dave Ramsey, you can do that. There's lots of financial advisors
Right.
online that you can follow their map, but you can't do it alone. I can't do it alone. I don't do it alone. Even being in real estate, I consult. So as the market is changing, as we are seeing that things are probably not going to change super drastically or back to what we were seeing, reverting to what we were seeing, you have to adjust your aim. And if you need help with that, then you need to give somebody a call.
That's really well said.
Stop it.
Yeah,
Well, on
good
that
job.
note, then let's just
Wrap it up.
done.
Good stuff.
It was good stuff.
Catch us next time on
The Rachel Ferrell Show.
Yay!
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening. A cornerstone of this show is real estate. I got into real estate to help people live outside of their mortgage by buying homes they can afford so that they can use the rest of their resources to live the life of their dreams. How do you do this? Work with great people who love people first. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or just enjoy chatting about the market, I'm your girl. Keep listening to this podcast for the latest on the market and all things Southern Middle Tennessee. I had a lot of fun with you today. I hope you had fun too. If so, I'd love for you to share this podcast with other people. Like this episode and subscribe to the channel for more. Talk to you soon.